All right, let's talk about one of the most overlooked yet seriously powerful substances in the human body. We are about to uncover the secret life of bile, and I promise you, it's so much more than just some boring digestive juice. Okay, think about this for a second. There's this tiny organ, and every single day, over 3,000 people in the US have it taken out. The common wisdom is that it's, well, disposable, not essential. But is that really the whole story? Is this little sac just taking up room, or are we missing something absolutely crucial?
For most of us, the biology lesson stopped right there. The liver makes bile, the gallbladder stores it. End of story. We kind of see it as a simple little holding tank for when you eat something fatty.
But here's the twist. The real hero of this story isn't the gallbladder itself. No, the true power is inside the liquid it holds and concentrates. We're talking about bile, and more specifically, the incredible molecules that make it up. So it's time to properly introduce the main characters of our story, the bile acids.
So what are they exactly? Well, at their core, bile acids are these super sophisticated molecules that your liver actually builds from cholesterol. I mean, think about that. It's like your body's ultimate recycling program, taking something we're always told to worry about and turning it into something absolutely vital.
And the process is just elegant. It all starts with cholesterol. Your liver then transforms it through a whole bunch of chemical steps, and from there, it gets sent to the gallbladder, which doesn't just store it. It concentrates it, making it way, way more potent.
So let's cover what we could call bile's day job, right? This is the stuff you might have heard about. They work like a detergent, breaking down the fats we eat so our bodies can actually use them. Without bile acids, you wouldn't get those essential fat-soluble vitamins, A, D, E, and K, or those critical omega-3s. They're literally the gatekeepers for absorbing fat. But once that day job is done, the story is really just getting started. The next part of this journey is where our hero goes through a massive transformation deep inside the gut. See, as bile acids move into the intestine, they're not alone anymore. They step into this bustling city of trillions of gut microbes. And this is where things get really interesting. These bacteria aren't just hanging out. They're active players that chemically reshape our bile acids. And this is the upgrade. We start with what are called primary bile acids, fresh from the liver. But then our gut bacteria get to work on them. They're like little molecular engineers, snipping off parts and rearranging them to create a whole new set of molecules called secondary bile acids. And these are way more diverse and, as you're about to see, way more powerful. So these transformed secondary bile acids, they get superpowers. For real, they become powerfully antimicrobial. They're like the bouncers for your gut, stopping bacteria from the large intestine from moving into the small intestine, which is a condition called SIBO. They even help keep fungi like Candida in their place. But even that isn't the end of it. Being the gut's gatekeeper is a huge deal. But scientists have just recently discovered a role for bile acids that is truly mind-blowing. So, it's time for the big reveal. Seriously, forget what you thought you knew. Digestion? That's just the warm-up act. It turns out bile acids are one of the body's most important communication systems. They're powerful signaling molecules, almost like hormones, that travel through your body and talk to your cells. And what are they talking about? Pretty much everything. They dock onto these special receptors on our cells and start calling the shots. They help control your blood sugar. They manage your metabolic rate, how many calories you burn. They are one of the key regulators of inflammation in your entire body. And maybe the wildest part? They can go into a cell's nucleus and literally flip critical genes on and off. They are helping to write your body's operating code every single day. So, as you can probably guess, when this super complex communication system gets messed up, it's a huge problem. When your bile acid pool is out of balance, it's not just a little digestive issue anymore. It's a systemic problem with really serious consequences.
Yeah, the research now draws a direct line from messed up bile acid signaling to some of the biggest chronic diseases out there. Non-alcoholic fatty liver disease? That can be driven by the wrong signals telling the liver to store more fat. Type 2 diabetes? It's all tied up in how bile acids manage glucose. Heart disease? They have a huge influence on cholesterol and inflammation. Even inflammatory bowel disease is linked to losing their crucial anti-inflammatory messages in the gut.
This new understanding that bile acids are these master regulators of our metabolism has totally changed the game. It's really opened up a whole new frontier for medicine.
I mean, we're not just looking at bile as something that helps you digest a burger anymore.
We now see it as a potential key to treating incredibly complex diseases. It's a massive shift in how we see our own internal chemistry.
And of course, when you discover a new pathway like this, drug development is right behind. Scientists are now creating synthetic bile acids, drugs that are designed to specifically hit those cellular receptors and fix the faulty signals that are causing these diseases.
But it's not that easy. It's a really complex system. One of the early drugs showed some real promise for liver disease, but it also came with some pretty nasty side effects, like intense itching and bad changes to cholesterol levels. It just goes to show how incredibly powerful and delicately balanced this whole system is. You can't just push one button without affecting something else.
Which brings us to this really powerful quote from researchers in the field. They're saying, look, these big, complicated diseases of our time, they are incredibly hard to treat. But bile acids are sitting right at the center of it all. The journey to understand them has been complex for sure, but the potential is just immense. And it's a great reminder that sometimes the biggest secrets are hidden in the places we look last, not in some brand new discovery, but in this humble, ancient fluid that's been a part of us from the very beginning.